right, it's the Super Centex Podcast on a busy signing day in Central Texas. Fall signing, not football. Alongside DJ and Chad, it's the playoff edition. Playoffs!
He's Brice Cherry.
I'm Brice Cherry.
Just wanted to say on the signing day note, I was at Crawford experiencing more of the year of the Lady Pirate. Man, they got quite a girls' athletics program there. They had 5 signees today.
Yeah, they just keep rolling along on that girls' side in Crawford. I mean, volleyball, softball, they're always really good. And don't sleep on girls' basketball or golf or cross country, those other sports. Yeah, they get it done out there. So, as I mentioned, the playoffs are here. And I know in the past we've probably railed on, there's too many teams that make the playoffs, and yes, there are, but we get those 3-7 teams, we get those 2-8 teams, but out of the gate we do get some really good matchups right in the first round. So my question is, what do you feel like is the best local matchup this week?
DJ, go ahead.
Oh wow, okay.
See if you can steal my answers.
Shoot. Okay. I mean, I think that Gatesville-Madisonville matchup is gonna be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hard one to pick.
It was a hard one to pick.
And then I think Troy's got this one in the bag with Troy and Yoakum is kind of like, because we've seen like Troy kind of dominate everyone except for Franklin. And so kind of seeing them go up against, another team that's kind of had a pretty solid season. I mean, they're 6-4, but and that's in Hutto, so home of the Hippos. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the other game in that Gatesville-Madisonville, that district cross matchup is Robinson-Sealy, the game I'm covering. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Robinson's had a great season. Sealy is just a historically good high school football program.
Paul Bavaric Dickerson.
Also, Fred Smith had a heck of a career when they won a state championship there.
Fred Smith. Well, they in the early, was it 90s? They won 4 state championships in a row. Which is, anytime you could do that.
It's funny because, I went to Robinson for signing day. Kagan Marshall and Lyndon Turnbow were signing baseball and softball. And Evan Moreno was there, obviously, because they had all the kids. And I was waiting to talk to Landon, and I guess he was there too, waiting to take his photo because they're teammates from baseball. And he comes up to me, he goes, "Well, DJ, who do you got? The Robinson Rockets or Sealy?" And I was like, well, if y'all do well, I get to keep working. So
That's funny.
I don't think they're really worried about this bi-district game. They're kind of looking forward to next week's matchup possibly. So
I gotta tell y'all a funny signing thing too. This really wasn't a signing day thing. This was just, so I covered a couple of Bosqueville volleyball games recently, and one of the Bosqueville girls goes to my church, Emma Patterson. She made state. Remember Chad at the track meet last year in the discus. So I had gone to, I think, 2 straight Tuesday Bosqueville volleyball games. And so obviously some of the girls noticed me there with my notebook and whatever. And I learned that they thought I was the new MCC volleyball coach.
You should go with that.
Well, I think Emma steered them. She told them, no, that's not it. But I think those girls are ready to be recruited, man, out in Bosqueville.
Absolutely. Hey, another couple of games that I found hard to pick were the Lake Belton Midlothian game. I had to go with Fort Bend Marshall against University. I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game. I see both of y'all picked University in that one.
Yeah, but I
Um,
agree with you. I think that's a toss up.
and
Yeah,
here's
that's
my if we were like odds makers and whatever, and or we were forced to make bets on these games, and we had to pick one fourth place to beat a first place, I'd go with the Whitney Wildcats.
oh, for sure.
I was just about to say, so, I mean, one of the themes that, DJ's been saying for weeks is, that district was set up well to show out in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
just because of how tough a district it is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Whitney's, got some firepower, and they're playing an 8-2 Palmer team, which is not easy. But if that district's as tough as we think it is, yeah, I
That could be a
agree.
heck of a game, yeah,
I agree.
for sure.
I'll be excited to see the Whitney or the excuse me the Midway Waxahachie game. That was a great
That's
game
yeah.
last year, and I expect it to be again. I mean, Midway is nothing if not resilient. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they've
Mm-hmm.
their injuries just continue to pile up, but
Well, and it's a tough assignment because talk about a team coming out of a good district,
well, right. Yeah, if you come out of the
Mhm.
Duncanville DeSoto district,
You've
you
earned your spot.
you've
Yeah.
also played some good competition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've tried to give Gatesville's Rayshon Smith some love here on the podcast because Aaron Hunter out in um, Gatesville, the head coach out there, has declared him the most underrated player in Central Texas, and we heard that, and we've tried to you know give Rayshon some love. Um, but he's probably not the only one that's being overlooked. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, who's someone that you've seen that maybe we haven't talked a lot about, who's kind of flying under the radar?
All right, I've got two and a bonus answer on this
Okay.
question. Uh, Hank Smith at Bremond, really good two-way player because I noticed he's among the area leaders in tackles,
Mm.
along with being 1,000-yard rusher. Got to see him play against Mart in a game
Hang
that
on.
Mart
Did you
won.
say Tank Smith? It's Tank Scott, right?
Tank Scott, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tank
Yeah,
Smith's an old Marlin running back.
that's right. That's right. Tank Scott. Okay, yeah. Thanks for the catch there.
Yep.
Um, and then I think, of course, the only time I've covered Troy was against Franklin, and so I feel like I didn't really get. I mean, they didn't get a fair shake from the eyeball test from me. Oh, that's a little mixed metaphor. Two different body parts in that.
Go on.
But
We get what you're saying.
I think Joseph McMurtry is a fantastic player. He had even that Franklin game, he kind of had that feel of going to put this team on my shoulders and see what we can do, type of deal. Okay, and here's my bonus one. Right?
Hmm.
How have we not talked about the fact that Troy's two best receivers are named Ketchum?
Yeah.
Well done, well done. And the funny thing is, I think I want to say Reed, who I believe is the older brother.
Yes.
Ooh.
Uh, I want to say he got hurt at some point.
Yeah, I checked the stats. It looked like they all played 10 games, but that might not be right.
Well,
Max
at any
Preston.
rate,
Yeah,
the other brother, the younger brother, uh,
Cohen.
Cohen, his went like it looked like when Reed's numbers went down, his went up, and he
Mm-hmm.
just picked up the slack. So as long as you got to catch him out there catching it for Troy, you're doing all right.
Well, I think when I talked to them to Joseph and Reed at the beginning of the season, they talked about growing up together, and so obviously if Cohen was also out there, I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be as easy of a connection between
Mm,
Joe
yeah.
Mack and Cohen Ketchum. But I also have a Troy player. It's
Okay.
actually their running back, Jaden
Yep.
Lucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
I looked at him too. Good
Yeah.
call.
Because I
1,000-yard
mean.
rusher that we haven't really talked about.
Yeah, he's right behind Evan Moreno now in
Mm-hmm.
the Stats Plus rushing column. So um, I know Coach Bearshaw, Bearshear, can never say it right.
Bashir. Yeah.
Bearshear. Um, it was talking about wanting to have a balanced offense and a balanced team, and I feel like they really accomplished that this year with Jaden Lucky at running back, and I mean, yeah, like Joseph McBurdy's a heck of a quarterback, but you gotta also give it up to all of the other pieces that have made that work, and then I also think Keandre Brooks at University. Like we've talked him about him a little bit, and we've obviously seen him play. I mean, he had that fantastic catch against Lampasas to, win the game. But when you got London Smith, everybody talks about London Smith, but when London went down, or even when London's in the game, sometimes like KB just gives University that other object option that teams aren't really expecting them to go to because you
And
have
he's kind of
someone.
a new football player, isn't he? I think Coach Felix was telling me that he's playing football this year and hadn't in past years.
Mm.
Yeah, no,
Looking
he's
forward to
mainly
him.
been a basketball guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see him play basketball, you can tell that's his sport. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's been really good as
Yep.
a wide receiver this year.
I will not mention a Midway guy. I've seen University twice this season. And I'm going to mention a different University guy. Well, first I'm going to back it up. Back in the summer I wrote a column where I was just looking at high school football in our area and answering some questions for the season, and I picked a breakout player, and my breakout guy was Jonte Johnson at Whitney,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say he was that guy for Whitney until he got hurt. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Oh, for
he,
sure, for
he was,
sure.
he was like an 800 yard guy last year, so he was not a bad player, but like he was, he took off in a big way this year, so I felt bad when he got hurt. But my guy that we haven't probably talked about enough, so like DJ mentioned it, we mentioned London Smith, we mentioned, Savoy Nichols, Ladarius Evans, and Joaquin Martinez is clearly a leader on that defense. But how have we not talked more about Jeremiah Green?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
this kid, so on the season, he has 42 tackles as a corner slash safety. Um, Leads the area in interceptions with seven. He just seems like he gets one every week.
Ball hawk.
Yeah, and two fumble recoveries. So he's got nine takeaways on the year, two forced fumbles, and 10 PBUs. So if you throw his direction, he's either going to knock it down or he's going to pick it off. He doesn't get beaten a lot. I saw him take one back against Waco High for his only pick six of the year. But that kid is really good. He's only 5'10", 165, but I did see on his Twitter feed as I was preparing, my answer for this, that he made a recent stop at Baylor. So, I mean, he's probably getting some big looks. So yeah, I mean, I think that kid's really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that I feel like the fumble that Ellison had in the second, I want to say it was the second quarter, where I mean the kid looked like he was about to score, and it just kind of like Jeremiah Green was like in there, like was almost basically glued to him. The ball kind of just bobbled, and then like as soon as it hit the ground, he goes in, he snatches it, and he takes off. And it was like if they'd had the opportunity to put in some more blocks, like he could have gotten past the the
Well,
midfield.
you love a guy on defense that just has a nose for the football. I mean, that is
You
a
gotta have them,
quality.
honestly.
Yeah,
You
you
know.
got you gotta
Yeah.
have them. I mean, those
Mm-hmm.
those those are really fun guys to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so to me, there's just nothing like the playoffs. The season gets really fun at this point. Um, you get winner go home matchups. You get a lot of cool neutral site environments. Lines of cars and buses going to different cities and towns. A lot of memorable moments we've all covered over the years. Um, so, what is just your favorite thing about the high school football playoffs, DJ? be your last run.
Yeah, I feel like for me, the past couple of years have been a lot of moments of like, this is when the passion really comes out, you know? This is when the
Yeah.
emotion really starts to show. Because obviously, like, it's it's like you're playing a whole new season, right? Like you mentioned,
Sound like a coach.
yeah.
We're 0-0.
Over, it's like inscripted in my brain now, like just the list of like coach phrases, you
Oh
know?
yes.
But I feel like some of the moments that kind of, stand out to me was like, I mean, covering China Spring in their state title run, and then, um, you know, going to freaking early Texas to cover Abbott. I got pulled over on the way there, man. And it
Yeah, now
wasn't
that's
even
not
because I
fun.
was
Why are you bringing
doing
up bad
anything.
stuff?
Um,
Did you get off without a ticket or like a
Yeah, he
warning?
gave me a warning. It was just like I guess I had forgot to secure my license plate to the front of my car. And when you're in Waco, nobody tells you anything. So he was like, just make sure you get it done. And he was being all friendly, and I was like, you're giving me anxiety. I'm about to cover a game in the middle of someplace I've never been before.
You know,
Right?
it's hard to get a speeding ticket. It's hard to have an excuse to get out of a speeding ticket when you're going to early, right?
Yeah. No,
Because how are you gonna
Boo. Boo.
yeah, no, but that was really fun. And then I think last year covering the Whitney Grosbeck game, and like it was already halftime and the game was basically over, which I
Mm.
mean sad for the goats, obviously. Like after, like I thought for sure after that game that we're gonna come back. They were playing really, really well, but I don't know, going down and talking to Coach Haynes, and watching him with Trey and Kobe and his family, and like how much football means to them as a family, was really special. And you can never go wrong with food. Like
Oh yes.
you do get
Food is a
anytime you
good
go any of these
answer.
the
places,
food steps up for
yeah,
sure.
the food definitely steps up.
Now, I think the thing that you get in high school that you don't get at the next, at the college level or the NFL level is this sense of, okay, the community's all in it together and we're all, like you said, a line of cars to the game. But even if it's not like that physical image of cars to the game, it's like, hey, we won and we're playing another week and let's all go down to, you know, the stadium near Austin where the next game is. And if we win that week, we get to go to another week. And once Thanksgiving passes, then you get, like the cheerleaders and the band and the Santa hats and everything. And there's just this sense of building momentum, especially for, your Cinderella type teams. We have a few teams in our area that maybe expect to get to the state championship game and expect to go that far. But for the ones that are the Cinderella teams, it's just like March Madness. They start to build momentum within their community, and other people around Central Texas start to go like, "Hey, look at so and so. They're still going. Will they win again this week?" I love that.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you some real subtle things here. And
Mm-hmm.
these are
Mm-hmm.
like some dorky things. I'm just gonna admit it.
Hey, you're the man for it.
Thank you. Uh I'm a pairing dork.
Mm-hmm.
I love, first of all, I love, like, okay, when we get the next matchup going, I wonder where they'll play, and trying to figure out the
Mm-hmm.
geography of that. And then I love texting coaches and going, hey, do you got your playoff pairing set up? Because here's the thing, they don't mind, because guess
Yeah,
what? They're still
there.
playing. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's information they are happy to
Well,
share.
even when you walk out on the field at the end of a game of a playoff game and you're the team you're covering won, you have that thing kick into the back of your head. Oh, one more thing I got to do is got to ask them about next week.
Right,
So and
right.
that's I mean that's hardcore reporting right there. That's news that nobody's going to have already.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting those pairings out, that's fun
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Uh, and then I think y'all hit on it, but um, anytime these guys, so you get to this point in the year, I mean, the seniors don't know how many more games they have left,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them, most of them, are not going to play on Saturdays. They're not going to play on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so this is it. This is it for their football playing life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when they get that extra game, when they get to go play Thanksgiving week, when they get into December, it's just so special for them. And I mean, I think we feel it, I mean, they're so
Mm-hmm.
excited. And so, yeah, like doing, as Chad just said, I mean, doing those interviews, and DJ, you hit on it too, with winning teams and winning coaches after a playoff game. That's fun stuff.
Well, shameless plug for my book, Republic of Football, which is sitting right here, by the way. I didn't intend to do this, but I mean, 42 chapters, pretty much every chapter is built on, the idea of a playoff run and a team's moment of glory.
Yeah, to me, that's when teams' legacies are built.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, the Mart Panthers are the Mart Panthers because of what they've done in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I
If they
mean,
Mm-hmm.
just went,
last season covering Armando Chavez and when he was
Oh,
chasing
the kicker. Yeah. Yeah.
kicking
Yeah.
record, the national kicking
that
record,
was
right?
very cool.
It
Mm-hmm.
was. And then I mean even covering them when they lose, it obviously it hurts them, and it kind of hurts you seeing how sad it makes them. But like when China Spring lost to Anna last year, and I have a photo in my phone somewhere of Coach Beatty and Cage McLeod just looking out at the stands and the team, and like you
Mm-hmm.
can just see the back of their shirts. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like that's a photo I'm gonna kind of cherish forever because I got to be part of like following that journey and sort of like the end of an era. Um,
Yep.
yeah.
My man, I'm ready to go watch Friday Night Lights now. Love it, love it. So real quick, Chad's out on Thursday, but we'll be back in the rotation on Friday. Chad, you
Yep. Happy
mentioned it.
birthday to my buddy Jeremy Webb. He's
Okay.
50 tomorrow.
Happy
So
birthday,
I'll be at his
Jeremy.
birthday party. Yeah.
That's where you're headed. But Friday, like you mentioned, Robinson Sealy, correct?
Yep. In at Brian Merrill Green Stadium.
I was there
Pay
a couple.
tribute to the great Merrill Green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there a couple weeks ago. They're very friendly in Bryan. They take care
Mm-hmm.
of you. Great place. You probably won't get the benefit of seeing David G. Campbell like I did, but
Right. Right.
uh,
You didn't
but
have a dog in the fight on that one.
no. Anyway, that's a good one. And DJ will be at a couple games Thursday and Friday. Which ones are you at?
So I'll be just down the road covering university against Fort Bend Marshall at Waco ISD. And then I'll be heading down to the P field in Pflugerville to cover
The field.
the field to cover La Vega.
Maybe the best name of a high school football stadium in Texas.
That's pretty it's pretty spot on. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when your name
Mm-hmm.
is Pflugerville, I mean you should have the Field. Uh
Mm-hmm.
I will be at the Midway Waxahachie game on Friday night. Looking forward to that one. See if the Panthers can get some revenge on Waxahachie. So, all right, good stuff. Read all about it in the Trib and on wacotrib.com. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Thanks.
See ya.